Thank you for joining us again for another episode of the Pursuit of Purpose podcast. I'm Ron.
I'm Chuck.
And today we have with us
Steve Pike.
Steve Pike, the Steve Pike.
That's right.
And Steve has a shirt on with some fancy embroidery work with an insignia on it that he's very proud of. Tell us what that is, Steve.
So this is the logo for SETX Roofing Pros, and it is supposed to represent what we do is SETX Roofing Pros. We do roofing, siding, exterior home improvements. So it's got a roof line, it's got some siding, it's got some windows in it. And we are so proud to be from Texas that this has got the star and the blue and the red. So we are just so proud to be Texans, lifelong Texans here on the Gulf Coast. And we love it.
Yeah.
So I think it represents all of those things.
It does. I'm
Very
looking
good.
at a copy of it here in front of me.
So, Steve, for all of you out there, I'm gonna go ahead and start the show with a little bit of bragging on him. If you ever come on our show as a guest, you have a lot to live up to. There have been 2 guests so far in the history of the Pursuit of Purpose podcast that have brought gifts, and Steve makes number 2. He brought us an actual swag bag of stuff, and I'm actually going to use one of the pins he brought during the show today, and he got us a flashlight, which, I'm like a little child. That's pretty cool, But it's rare that we have a guest that actually brings us a gift. So there's a challenge for you guys if you ever come on the show. We get a lot of different industries that come visit us, and we would, I'm not saying we're putting our hand out or anything like that, but we ain't gonna turn nothing down but our collars. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So if you feel so inclined, live up to Steve's example.
That's right.
We didn't expect it, but we definitely appreciate it. Thank you for the bags of goodies.
Thank you, man.
So, Steve, where were you born?
I was born in Houston, Texas,
All right.
Jeff Davis Hospital. It's no longer there. It's been torn down.
Oh, wow.
But Houston, Texas, grew up in Baytown. Most of my childhood was in Baytown, and then Beach City, Texas for 15 years, which is over by Houston Raceway Park.
Okay.
So it's annexed by Baytown, but we liked calling it Beach City.
Still got to keep that independence. Yeah.
And then we moved to Lumberton in 2019.
Okay.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So when was your beard born? Because that thing is phenomenal, and you got the whole, everything going on there.
So I found a picture. The last time I shaved was 2013.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
I wear this beard for your sake,
right?
Not so
are you protecting us from what's underneath?
I'm protecting you from all of the ugliness that's underneath.
Come on.
Well, it's a mighty fine beard. Some of us, poor folks, we can't keep up with that. I can't. He's got a nice fluffy beard, but mine's more pathetic than anything.
I don't like to shave. I get bad razor burn.
Yes.
So when my beard is short, I have to shave my neck and keep it trimmed up. Right. And I get all this terrible razor burn. So when I grow it long, I don't have to do it, and then I can let the lady that cuts my hair trim my beard and kind of line it up just a little bit.
There you go.
Keep it from.
So you're protecting yourself. You're protecting us.
Yeah.
Man, look at you.
Yeah,
I wager there's a lot of men out there that same motivation is why they grow their beard.
I know I can get scratched up pretty good. So eat your heart out, Billy Gibbons. This is great, man.
So born in Houston, raised in Baytown. Did you have any siblings?
Man, I am number 8 of 10.
Wow. Holy moly.
Number 8 of 10. And because we're on this podcast is Pursuit of Purpose, and it really touches on a lot of different things. And I'm not full blood related with any of them.
Wow.
Oh man, this is a good story. Go, bro.
Okay. So and for 45, 48 years, I was number 7 of 9.
Okay.
We found out that my dad had another child. That her mother left town after she got pregnant, and my dad, my biological father, never knew about one of my sisters.
Okay.
Well, my mother a few years before she died, got on me about doing 23andMe, right? So, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want my DNA in the database,
Right.
you know? So finally I spit in the little tube, sent it off. Well, my sister had been searching for her birth family. Her mother had just died, and finally told her what she knew all along, that her dad, who she thought was her dad, was not her dad. Right.
Wow.
So she dropped this bomb on her. And so, it's
big.
It's a crazy story. Well, we met a few years ago, and my initial thought was, you know, I'm not answering somebody on the internet. You know, they're trying to scam me, you know, whatever. And she stalked me. She found on Facebook, and she found one of my sisters and one of my older sisters, and she started explaining some timelines. And my older sister was like, I think she's legit. So she sends us a picture of her son, her daughter, her, and she belongs in our family.
Wow.
Right. So
that was hard to deny.
It was hard to deny. Yeah. And so it's been great. She's a very successful realtor in the Austin market. Has a daughter that just graduated from Tennessee.
Nice.
Go Vols.
Yeah.
Right? And has a son that's deployed right now, but he spent 4 years at West Point.
Oh wow,
man!
Yeah,
that's impressive. Thank you for your service, man. That's awesome.
So veterans run deep in my family, even family that I didn't know that.
For sure.
There's a lot of veterans, and I wish I were one.
So y'all are pretty close in age then, since you're at the end of the list, and she came right after.
She came right before. So I was running around with my sister's name for a long time, 7.
That's crazy.
It's funny, you know. It's not. At least that's better than a boy named Sue, right?
Right.
So, man. So are all of them with the same father?
No.
Okay.
No. So I've got my dad. My biological father has 7.
Okay.
And my mother has me and one sister from her first marriage. And then my stepdad has a daughter.
Okay.
Right? And so as you add us all up,
big blended family.
Yeah, big blended family.
That's beautiful. I share a similar thing. And with mine, until I was about 40 years old, I was raised by, I call him my dad. I don't call him stepdad, but he legally he adopted me.
Right.
But anyway, my biological father, I'd never met him. I'd been told all these horrible stories and he was evil and blah, blah, blah. But I always had this like void. I wanted to know, like, number one, why didn't he want to be a part of my life? And number two, I want to meet him before he dies. Like, that opportunity is not going to last forever. So I kept talking about it. And finally, my wife took the initiative on her own. She searched out and found some siblings that I had, you know, and reached out to them, and then found out where my father lived. Lo and behold, he still lived in the same town I was born in, Orange, Texas. So she, through her own investigative powers, don't mess around with my wife. She'll find out. She will find you. She found his address, and I was still a police officer at the time, but I didn't show up in uniform. And this is the funny thing about this story is I show up at his address and I knock on the door, and it's a screen door. And the main door in the house is open, but it's a screen door, and I knock and I hear him yell from inside, "I didn't do it." And I'm like, the first words I ever hear from my father's mouth, "I didn't do it." And in my mind, I'm thinking, but you did.
As evidenced by, here I am.
So he comes around the corner, and I can see him through the screen door. He's frail and old, and he doesn't look very healthy. And from the stories, I knew he had been, living a hard life. And anyway, he comes around the corner, and he comes out and he says, "What do you want, cop?" Well, he was a criminal. And you know how it is. A criminal can can kind of smell law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I said, well, to be honest, I am an officer, but that's not why I'm here. He said, well, what are you here for? I said, well, it's kind of a heavy topic. You might want to sit down. He said, no, I'll stand. I said, just sit down for me, please. So he sat down, and as soon as he sat down, I said, I'm your son. And everything about him changed. He sat there in awe for a few minutes, and he knew my name, but not my whole name. And so anyway, from there forward, I got to know him, and I found out that he was a farmer of sorts, in that he scattered his seed all over the countryside. And I have no idea just how many siblings I really have.
Yeah.
So bless his heart, the scary thing about that is that, the Southeast Texas is not that big of a place.
Right.
I could have married a sibling and never known it.
Man,
because we're that close in proximity. Yeah. Thank God for protecting me from, from inbreeding.
Oh, wow.
So there you have it.
There you have it.
I was just curious how your story was going to go. If there was going to be some of that, kind of.
No, but my dad was a player.
Yeah.
For sure, a farmer of sorts.
Yeah,
and there may be more out there. I don't know.
I think that's the line of the morning right there. Bunch of farmers.
See, I try to put upon a positive spin on everything. You can't help, what people have done in their past. So you got to grow from it. And those little seeds out there, when you plant them like that, they tend to grow.
Did your sister, who you discovered late in life, was she able to meet your father?
No, he died.
Okay,
like 4 months earlier.
Oh no!
Wow.
It was missed it by that much.
Right.
Get smart would say.
Yes. Thank you, Don.
We just showed our age. So
yeah.
Pretty funny.
Yes.
No, she did not get to meet my dad, but she did get to meet my mother, who was next in line for my dad.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
And she was able to express a ton of gratitude for showing her who her family is.
Right.
Because we still have a large family.
Yeah.
And we're a little bit estranged. We all live our own lives. We're all adults and have our own kids and grandkids and all of that.
Sure.
And so
most folks stayed in the general Texas area. Anybody go too far off?
No, I've got one daughter that moved to Kansas City.
Okay.
She's 33 or 32. Sorry. She's 32. She's sensitive about that. That's my youngest. He's 32.
Yes. Nice.
And so and she's got 2 boys, and she lives in Kansas City. She's a professional musician.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yes.
The rest of them live in Baytown, and my siblings are Brazoria County and up around East Texas and now Austin.
Okay.
And one in Houston.
Yeah, all within proximity. We can get to them if we need to. That's great.
Well, this is a little bit of a sidebar, but that's an awesome story. Brazoria County has some crazy politics.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. I didn't know that. And I just kind of fell into it one day on Facebook. And wow. God bless him. So God bless your daughter.
Right. So that's my sister that lives there.
I'm sorry, your sister.
Yeah.
She's been there forever.
I finished high school in Brazoria County, Pearland.
Yeah.
So it is quite something.
Yeah.
So, what was childhood like in your childhood home? What was discipline like, rather?
More times than I care to count, I would have to go find a switch.
That's good. I like that story.
There was corporal punishment, and I grew from it. Right.
Absolutely.
I was not a listener. I was a very disobedient child.
Mm-mm.
I needed to have my behind tore up on the regular.
Right.
And they obliged. And so did every principal at every school. We moved around a lot.
Okay.
And every principal at every school got to issue some of that corporal punishment as well. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we brought it back.
Right. Absolutely not.
You want to hear a fascinating story? I can remember the names of kindergarten through 3rd grade teachers, because they all whipped me in the hall almost every day. After that, I didn't get as many whippings because we moved around several times, but I don't remember them in a negative way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I remember the whippings, not every one of them, but I remember. I can tell you my kindergarten teacher's name was Miss Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
First grade was Miss Collier.
Mhm.
And, on and on and on. I don't want to, make anyone's family mad because their mom, their grandma, or whoever it was that, whooped me.
Yeah.
But, and the rule was if you got a whipping at school,
Get a
you
whipping
got a
at
whipping at home.
Yeah, roger that.
Mhm.
So a fascinating fact for you, almost every guest that's come in here that displays any level of entrepreneurial endeavor and creative mindset has had the same story.
That's true.
One of my mentors growing up was a pastor of our church. We were members of Gospel Center Church here in Beaumont, and his name is Luther Maddox. And he had this thing that he would say from the pulpit. He would say it all the time: ships and children are the same. They always work best when steered from the rear. And so it's pretty profound, right?
Yes, it is.
So
Yes, it is.
so being that is the case, did you have the same behavior in your home?
To some degree, probably when my kids were growing up, right? They would call that what happened to me abuse.
Mm-hmm.
They would call that child abuse by the time my kids were coming in and really getting in trouble. But we had our share of corporal punishment around our house.
People are so sensitive nowadays. Everybody's looking for a way to be offended. Everybody's looking for a safe space.
Right.
We gotta have a safe space.
Right.
So, if you want a safe space, you're not gonna create much,
No.
Right.
No,
because
sure.
the real world, there ain't no safe space.
There isn't.
Mentally, physically,
Right.
you can have security in your own confidence, in your own
Right.
ability to create,
Right.
but there's no safety.
No.
So
No.
risk is part of the world.
Absolutely. Well, that's safe space is just somebody else's overcompensation, and that never gets us anything.
Yeah.
And so, no.
That's one of the largest attributing factors to what we see as the flaws in the younger generations.
Yeah.
They're coming up with no accountability,
Yeah.
no sense of responsibility, no respect for each other or
Right.
others at all. And you see it in the news all the time.
Unfortunately.
People killing people, stealing from people,
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever
Right.
with no regard.
Right.
So I am grateful for the corporal punishment that we received.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also grateful that you enacted it on your own, because I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Chuck, same way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's great. So I commend you.
Well, it definitely gave you an opportunity to understand a consequential life.
A consequential life.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. And so all these, we were talking a little bit before the show, hope you get to elaborate some of the things that you were able to get into as a professional man, building your own career. And obviously each one you found a better way to have the consequences you prefer.
Yeah.
And probably some of that lightened up your life on the daily. Help some of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I believe that every action has a consequence, and it doesn't matter, and that's why I wanted to start my own business.
Yeah. Okay.
And is every action has a consequence, and I like rewards, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like rewards.
Oh, we all, right?
I like rewards, and so if I like a reward, then what I do is I set a goal and let that be the reward, and then I work backwards to how to achieve it.
Okay.
I reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be here. How do I get there? Okay.
Right.
So what has to happen before that? What has to happen before that? How much money do I need to affect that change? What mindset change do I need to put into place?
Mm-hmm. I like that formula.
I absolutely I admire that, and there's so much profound truth in it. We teach a leadership course in different formats and things, and we teach about the magic questions. Questions are the key to everything. Like our slogan is "Question everything,"
Mm-hmm.
and one of those magic leadership questions, it always starts with how, and that's how you endeavored to live.
Yeah.
So you look for the goal, you look for the reward that you desire, and you say, okay, how?
Mhm.
And then you build a recipe to get it. And that's the magic.
What was your best mentor to help develop that, or mentors? Maybe
So I have had a mentor. So I'll be 54 in a couple of weeks, and or a couple months, February, and
It goes by so fast.
It does. It seems like a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I'll be 54 in February.
Nice.
And in my early 20s, I found some mentors that I found out the value of mentors.
Okay.
People that have done some things that I hadn't done.
That's
And
really early, by the way.
it is. It's very early.
You did well.
It's very early. And so from that day to this, I've always found somebody that has experience in what it is that I want to do.
Mhm.
And I just soak it all in.
There you go.
I ask a ton of questions. I probably more than the questions is I observe keenly, right? I watch everything.
Right.
How are they when they're not in front of other people?
Mhm.
You know, how do you treat the waitress at the coffee shop?
Yeah.
When the coffee cup gets cold,
Right.
right?
Right. No, that's
What I want to do is I want to sling the coffee cup across there and go, hey, I need some coffee.
Right.
But what I do is I wait and I get their attention and I try and call them by name.
Okay.
Right. Whenever I go to a restaurant, as an example, I always ask if they don't offer their name at first. I always ask them, all right, what's your name? Because hey, you is not very respectful.
Right.
Right. So, I said, hey, Robert, when you get a second, could you bring me a little more coffee? Could you bring me a refill or whatever? A little butter for my, whatever. And you're a lot more likely, if I've called you by name and asked you politely
Right.
and in a kind way, I'm likely to get what I want.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So,
Right.
so
And in part, in turn, they're getting a lot what they want.
yeah.
They're getting respect. They're getting it's personalized a bit, and likely it's going to affect their revenue.
Yeah.
A lot of positives. So I
Sure.
like that. That's a good advice. For folks who are listening today. Is
I hope it helps.
Oh, I'm sure it will, because I think that is part of, we're talking about some of the negative consequences of our undisciplined society, is people don't have that regard. They don't think personal that, hey, that's another person. Somebody else owns that or is responsible for that or what have you. And they don't seem to care. And that's it. But it starts with those little connecting moments. So that's a good story. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
like it.
Well, speaking of connecting moments, how'd you meet your wife?
Oh man, we had some a lot of mutual friends,
Okay.
and so we
So you
met-
stalked her. I understand.
No, we had some mutual friends, and we knew each other in passing, just very, very casually. Knew each other's names, said hi. I didn't have her phone number; she didn't have mine. For about a year and a half,
Oh, wow.
and I was just telling the story to some friends of mine, and the day came that it was time for me to ask her on a date. And I said, hey, Carla, can I talk to you for a minute? We were at a gathering with some friends.
Right.
She said, yeah, sure. And I said, would you like to go out with me on this day? And before I could finish the question, she was nodding her head yes.
She had already thought about it.
Yes.
So that's a funny story, but that's the way she tells it. Right. I stole the way that she tells the story because it's especially funny when you look at me and you think about, her going yes, nodding her head before I can even finish the question. And so it's really funny. But
That's awesome.
hey, whatever denial she's in, it's been working since 1996.
Stay in denial.
That's beautiful.
We got together in 95 and in March of 95, and we got married on the same day in 96.
So almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years.
Wow.
Awesome.
And-
That's almost on your
Nothing
birthday.
more, almost on my birthday.
And y'all are still young, relatively speaking.
Yes.
So you got potentially a long way to go.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
And she hasn't killed you yet. She's a good sign.
That is
It's a
great
very good
sign.
sign.
That's it.
It's not without without cause.
Yeah, I say the same thing about me. Like, yeah.
I just want to be
Like,
clear.
and the crazy thing is, my wife already has a grief counselor.
Yeah.
So, and she watches those shows, instructional television on how to do things.
Oh, yeah.
She takes notes and
true crime
she
and the
discusses
like.
it with a mastermind group, where she works, because they all watch the same stuff. So I'm sure there's been a lot of creative opportunity.
Yeah.
I have been hit on the head in my sleep, woken up with a little, so there's been trial. There's been some experimentation, but it's an amazing thing to survive this long.
So you're saying there could be a go team?
There could.
It could be a go. Yes,
there could.
With a bag that nobody knows about. That's got all. Yeah, I got you.
All the stuff.
She did ask me how to operate my excavator, and I did unwittingly teach her.
Wow.
So there's lots of opportunity. I don't know if she's spoken with Carla yet. That I do have an excavator, so.
Okay. All right.
If ever that becomes a thing, they may work together, For the audience out there, just to let you guys know, we're actually neighbors. Steve lives, I have to pass his house every day when I go home. It's another motivation for me not to drop anything unsavory out of my window because he'll see it. But anyway, so we do see each other pretty regularly.
That's awesome.
And we love having you in the neighborhood.
Well, you were one of the first people that we met, and I appreciate you stopping by and being neighborly. And that we've got some neighbors a couple doors down. We've been there for 7 years, coming up in March, and I don't know them. I mean, so anyway. Now we do live in on some big lots, right? And it's not like I'm 60 feet away from their driveway,
right?
And I can't see their houses from the road, so there's that. And I haven't gone over to introduce myself either.
Okay,
so
that may be the next step.
Yeah, it may be.
Yeah,
it may be.
Yeah.
So you're in the roofing business. What does Miss Carla do?
She's retired.
Retired
She's
from?
Retired. She was a office admin with some great positions. One of her last positions was she was the executive office admin for the director of the space shuttle team at Boeing.
Wow,
come on,
that's fascinating.
Yeah,
backup. The director ran the backup flight software. So for the space shuttle team before the space shuttle was retired. Then she moved over to space station, and it was not a good fit anymore. It just worked out that it was time for her to go. And so it's interesting though, when she put in her notice to leave back in late 2015. I had decided that in my previous career that I'll just go ahead and retire here. And then that December I got laid off. And she said, "Well, do I need to go back and retract my?" And I said, "No, don't retract your resignation." And so I don't know where all the money went from when we had two big incomes, but we figured out that we could make it on about a third of what we were spending.
Okay.
So if you want to be a single income household, you can do it.
Yes.
Right.
It just takes discipline.
It takes some discipline and it takes some sacrifice, especially on the front end.
Yes.
Right. But then you start learning what those things are that are discretionary. What discretionary really means, that discretionary spending. Maybe for her, she quit getting her nails done every week. Right. That was one of the things that she quit doing. And there were some other things, but and I stopped buying a new guitar every week or every month. I was buying a lot of guitars back then.
So you speak that language for me, it was guns.
Yeah.
I had to stop buying guns. I don't know how many I was buying and exactly how often, but when I realized just how much I was spending on that, it was startling.
Yeah.
So I've been where you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking like second mortgage level. What are we talking here?
No, not second mortgage
Why
level.
you got to
but just-
meddle in people's business, man?
Well, that's laid out there
for me, it was we were making great money, more money than either one of us had ever made.
Yeah.
Right. And it was great. We had a reasonable mortgage. We didn't have a bunch of credit cards or credit card debt, which is really important.
They're very responsible.
And I mean, we were just super responsible. And it just but when we were both high earners, it's like, yeah, I can drop money on a guitar or a gun. I might swap off guns and guitars
Alternate
a little bit.
Right.
And so yeah, anyway, we just did a bunch of crazy but we scaled back.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Then it was really good.
Good deal.
What is your least favorite thing about being an entrepreneur?
My least favorite thing is creating consistent Facebook content.
Social media specific.
Yeah, social media specific.
Okay.
I mean, that's my least favorite thing.
Okay.
Is taking that because it can take a long time, especially if it's not my primary job. Right. It's a supplement to what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So yeah, that's my least favorite thing.
Well, then what's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is to connect with people. Yeah. So we haven't talked about my previous career, but I was in the IT business, and by the time I got laid off, it was just ones and zeros. It's all it was. I had zero passion about it. I could care less. I don't care that you can't get your email. I know you're a bank, but
That's
I don't care if people's ATM card isn't working because of some systematic thing. I mean, I didn't care.
Yeah.
So it was really a good thing that I got laid off. And so in the roofing business in particular, we get to help people.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And somebody calls in and says, man, I've got a day like today, a little bit of rain. I've got a leak in my kid's bedroom, and it's dripping right on their bed. We show up, we do some work, and they are so grateful.
Right.
We solved their problem.
Right.
And it's a tangible, real thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's where I get the most value.
That's beautiful, man. I like that.
I like that.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, and I mean, in people's property, in most homes, by far, that's their biggest investment.
Biggest one.
Yeah, and it's one it's also has a legacy effect. Somebody else is going to probably inherit that unless they move, and so there's a lot of value in that. So that's awesome. I like that. I like the analogy too. Plus, the kid doesn't have to sleep in a wet bed.
Yeah, the kid doesn't have to sleep in a wet bed. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I used to pee the bed, but didn't have a roof leak, but.
I haven't done it in months.
It might have been a fine excuse though. They're like, maybe there's a leak, Dad. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
See, you ruined the kid's excuse.
Yeah,
I
know.
Took away his,
I did. Sorry, kids.
So, you mentioned IT, and tell us about how did your working life start out for you? First of all, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to be a football player and a lawyer.
Okay.
Both.
At the same time? Wow. That's
I wanted to be
that's quite a dichotomy. That's
and a lawyer.
That's something.
And I don't know why I wanted to be a lawyer.
You could be your own agent.
But I started playing football in the little Optimus League. I love watching those little kids play ball. And I played up through junior high, and I was a pretty good athlete. I got to high school, and that summer between junior high and high school, I got a bass guitar.
Uh-oh.
And I started learning how to play music, and I started growing my hair out long.
Of course, why not?
Wow,
kid,
absolutely.
And I get to football practice when football practice is supposed to start, and the coach tells me that I'm going to have to get a haircut if I'm going to play on his team.
Uh-oh.
Now you got to remember, this was back in the mid '80s.
Sure.
Okay. So, and in Baytown, Texas, and it was very blue collar, and rock and roll boys did not fit well over there.
Right.
Back then, Baytown was conservative.
Yeah, back then, very, very conservative. And I told him I
Not
wasn't getting a haircut. That I could have more girlfriends if I was a musician.
Oh yeah.
Than I could playing being a jock. So
That's
I quit
funny.
playing. And
So you're saying it may have been the love of the music, or
for the love of.
For the love of
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
no, that's awesome. So you're just self-taught. You just pick up the bass.
I'm self-taught. I started playing bass guitar, and then I figured out that for me, bass guitar it's hard to be a good bass player.
Yeah.
But you can be a mediocre guitar player, and you can serenade the girls.
That's it, baby.
Okay.
So then I started teaching myself
There we
guitar.
go. There we go.
You can serenade the girls.
There you go. So
It's
you
hard to serenade with a boom, 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 boom.
You can look cool.
You can look cool doing it.
Yeah.
So you went from rhythm section to a little bit of romance.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
Well,
So yeah.
finding your passions.
Music is a huge part of my life.
That's awesome.
That's great.
You still play?
I do still play.
Okay.
I've got a
Only serenading one lady, though.
Right.
yes,
Right.
I only serenade one, and so I still play. Have a band that we put together back in about 2010 with some of my longest time friends. We put a band together and wrote a bunch of original music, recorded a CD,
Nice.
13 tracks, and
Okay.
went down to Corpus and self-produced an album.
Wow.
And we have played some really cool shows. We got to open for, also show our age, Molly Hatchet, Great White, LA
What?
Guns.
Come on now.
Right. Now, all those guys were relegated back to the bar scene. They were stadium acts for decades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they're playing,
Yeah.
little small venues. But
Yeah.
we opened with a bunch of different national acts, which was a lot of fun. And I sing and play rhythm guitar.
Very cool.
And so yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So disaster.
There you go.
So
Good segue.
when you transitioned to music, not to say that you can't make money out of music, but what did you begin doing then after your high school career? What did you then do you moved towards IT somehow?
Yeah.
So there was a transition there.
So
you didn't become a lawyer, and you didn't become a professional athlete,
No.
and you didn't make it as a professional musician.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah. So here we are. So
Peeling away the
onion.
So I guess I would have to start with dropped out of high school and started having babies.
Okay.
Okay.
So you are the first male in history to actually have babies.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
In the ninth grade, somewhere between the pencil sharpener and my desk, I fell in something. Back then, I called it love.
Yeah, what a mess.
So we had a daughter, and I needed to support them.
Sure.
And I'd worked some, I quit school, so there's not a whole lot of opportunity. So I was flipping burgers, and that's
Whatever it takes.
whatever it took. And back in those days, we didn't have these fancy driver's license and IDs that we have today. And you could get a fake ID.
Yeah, pretty readily available. That's right.
White Elephant Flea Market in the late 80s. You could get a fake ID, and I did, and I got a fake ID, and I went to work as an ironworker helper.
And who can really fault someone who the purpose of getting the quote unquote fake ID is to support your kid?
Yeah,
like that's
right. It wasn't just about beer.
Relatively noble thing.
Yeah, relatively. And so
that's why I said it that way.
So that was around 16 years old. By the time I was 18, I was a journeyman iron worker, and all of my friends were just graduating high school, and they were coming on the job sites as my helper.
Wow.
Right. That was that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And so yeah, I became an iron worker. By the time I was 24, I was a foreman, and I was leading men that were 10 years my senior. And that's when I realized that I had some leadership skill.
Sure.
And really, I don't think that it's about the leadership skill as much as it is. Most people are followers. And they're just looking for somebody to make a decision and say, come go this way.
Yes. Someone to lead them.
And I'm willing to say, come go this way.
Okay.
I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's go this way. We're going to try.
There it is.
And we can fix wrong.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We can go back and we
You
can
can't fix
mistake.
inactivity, though.
Yeah,
You can't
so-
fix indecision.
I'm hearing him, and I mean, it's obvious now because we're all, becoming friends and getting to know you better. But there was a lot of confidence in you back then too.
There was.
That's kind of rare among that age, that late teenage age.
So if you don't know anything about ironworkers, there's an echelon in the ironworker craft, and there's ground guys, there's bolt up guys, and then there are connectors. The connectors take the piece from the crane and with nothing else around but a column sticking straight up, and there is a lot of confidence and ego and pride, and I am guilty as charged. Right. Guilty as charged.
Right.
The connector, I wanted to be under the biggest crane on the biggest structure.
Wow.
Right. With the biggest steel. And we wanted to hang more pieces of steel. And back in those days, it was common for us to hang 125, 150 pieces of steel in a day.
Wow.
And today with man lifts and scaffolds and all of that, they're doing 20, 30 pieces a day. So back just right at the same time, they were stopping iron workers from riding the headache ball up from the ground, so we didn't have to climb as far.
Well, the safety stuff has changed so much to the point that that's part of why it slowed everything down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just the work. They have to go through 6 meetings before they ever touch a tool, before they ever even suit up, before they put their harness, their 6-point harness or whatever it is. And so everything's slowed way down.
I wouldn't be surprised just in our litigious world. Even your bonding agents, your insurance companies are like, no, I'm sorry. He may have all the skills in the world, but if he doesn't have that certificate, he's not touching anything.
Yeah.
Or we're not paying if he breaks something or somebody gets hurt kind of thing.
So how long did you stay in that industry?
So when I was, it's not foggy, but there's a couple of details that I have to make sure that I hit. So
okay,
I became a project superintendent by the time I was 27, and had 60, 70 men under my charge.
That's young.
It is.
It's very young. It's very young, and most of those men had been doing the work for a lot longer than I had.
Wow.
And so then I got, it was construction, so layoffs were common, right? So I got laid off, went back to work on my tools, and my last ironworker job was in 2001.
Oh wow!
And we were building what's now known as NRG Stadium.
Yeah.
And I was a connector on one of the raising gangs that put the super truss on the Kirby side and started the fan inside, and then I got heat exhaustion 3 times in 3 weeks.
Oh wow!
Houston summers, man.
And it was while we were putting things together on the ground, and then we were and inside the bowl they had brought in this big 2-inch crushed concrete, right, as a base.
Yeah.
And they had started the early glazing of the bottom floor. So that bowl was open on the top and the sun would hit it all day long, and it would reflect up off of the crushed concrete,
like an oven,
off of the painted steel. And it was so hot.
Right.
And and there was no wind moving. Right. So anyway, I was in the emergency room 3 times in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And my doctor, and this is when I knew it was serious. When my doctor said, Steve, if you keep doing this, you're going to do some damage that we can't fix.
Wow.
And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to do anything else. And she said, I don't care. I don't care.
Just won't be that.
It just won't be this, right? And so I
you were cooking your noodle, man.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine that I'd known for many years, and he had started in the IT business, and he said, "Hey, man, why don't you go over to Lee College in Baytown and take this course?" And I went over and I took a course, and it was a certification preparation course. And if you and I went through about half of the semester, and I went and took the test. And if you pass the test for the certificate, you get an A in the class.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
So I got my certificate, and I got a job at a hospital there in Baytown, and just doing menial IT tasks, simple help desk, password resets, and things like that. And
that's quite a segue, to a new career.
Yeah, I didn't know how to turn a computer on. We didn't own a computer.
Wow. Yeah.
And then so I spent the next 6 years with that hospital, and moved really and improved my knowledge. Did a lot of self-study, and I became a certified systems engineer.
Come on now. That's a big step.
It is.
And then I went to work for a consulting company, and then I went to work for the second largest bank in the world, and was there for 6 years. About 2 years in, I got promoted to a really great title, Vice President, Technical Operations Manager.
Wow.
Had this great title for the last few years I was there. Great paycheck, great bonuses, all that stuff. And then they laid me off.
So I hear a pattern in your life, and that pattern is you never rested on anything. You were never necessarily satisfied. You were never finished.
Yeah.
And I like that. That is very admirable.
Well, thank you.
And so, I mean, that's something to be very proud of. Right. So have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live sketch with the IT guy?
No, I don't.
I'm going to challenge you to look that up. Okay. It is one of my favorites. It is hilarious. I forget his name, but the little intro song is so-and-so, the IT guy. And he, like, somebody be sitting there, it'd show her, like, maybe it's Molly Shannon or one, I don't know which one, be sitting there working on a computer, typing really fast. She gets really aggravated looking. And then she's like, I just can't make this work. And she picks up the phone and calls the IT guy. And then all of a sudden he walks in and he says, Move.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, it is hilarious. So were you that guy?
I was.
Move. Everybody, and it's so condescending.
Yeah.
You moron.
Move.
Yes.
Move.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great sketch.
It is a great one.
There you were.
There you go.
That made a skit of your brief career.
Here comes Steve, the IT guy.
Yeah, and I think his name was Steve.
It might have been.
That's Steve.
No.
Steve was either that or the making copies guy.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yes.
But yeah,
that was really a great sketch. And it was around your time frame too. I'm pretty sure that's when it happened.
Sure.
And so, I've always said that I get bored easy, right?
Preach.
So when I do something for a while, I get pretty good at it.
Right.
It's just my thing, right?
Yeah.
I start doing something and I know nothing, right? I start from scratch.
But that's when it's fun.
And then I spend every moment learning and consuming and try to figure it out.
Right.
I had a computer lab. If you had a broken computer at your house, hey, let me have it. You're going to throw that away? Let me have it. And I built all of these servers, this full network in my office at home. And, I would stay up till 3:00 in the morning, reading and go, okay, so if I do that, no, that didn't work. Okay. Whatever. That didn't work. And just work through it, man. And finally my wife would come in. Are you ever going to come to bed?
Oh,
Yes.
Well, I hope my wife watches this episode for this particular story, this exact moment in time, because it will illustrate to her that I'm not the only one.
No,
You're not.
no.
I have heard that same question asked of me. I can't even tell you how many times. In fact, last night.
Okay.
Oh, here it is.
Last night it happened.
Yeah.
I was actually writing for classes, and I was trying to print some stuff and different things, and I just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And until I was satisfied that I had met what I was wanting, and it's the same thing. Like I can relate.
Oh, y'all are breathing the same air. I find that so interesting though, because you're taking the class at Baytown, and you said we didn't even own a unit. We didn't even own a computer. And then within a short period of time, you have a lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
I was pretty resourceful.
Yeah.
And I did wind up going to college. So I was a high school dropout. And what I found out whenever I started going to college was the last grade that I successfully completed was the 8th.
Oh, okay.
So I was half a credit short my freshman year when I dropped out as a sophomore. I thought I at least was a freshman.
Right.
And I don't recommend for anybody out there watching this, if you're young, stay in school.
I'm going to caveat to that. Okay.
It's important.
If you're young, stay in school. If you didn't, it's not the end of the game.
Yeah.
Correct. There it is.
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I give you Steve Pike. That's true.
So anyway, I went to school, got my GED, went to college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I took all of these disjointed courses.
You completed the 8th grade and then took the initiative to get your GED and go to college. That's huge.
That is.
You said it really fast, like it wasn't a big deal.
It doesn't seem like a big deal.
Fine, but it is. And I want the audience to really be able to ingest that, digest it, and understand that's an accomplishment, because at that point, when you find out, when somebody tells you, well, you've only completed the 8th grade, that's discouraging to hear.
That's right.
And then the thought for a person, I mean, you seem a lot like me in the ADHD category. You seem a lot like me in the obsessive category. So when you hear those things, my natural tendency is to start to build a barrier to protect myself. And I start to get an aversion to doing it.
Yeah.
I begin to have this, I hate this word, this F word, but I get a little bit of a fear and anxiety about this seemingly overwhelming task.
Right.
And that's what a lot of us do when we think about the unfinished things in our lives. And that was something that would represent a huge unfinished thing.
Right.
And you did it.
Yeah.
Right.
You faced it head on and you accomplished it. And more than that, you finished high school, you did the GED and then went to college.
Yeah.
Further learning. That's impressive, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And earlier you had kind of described that self-developed formula of, the end in mind, then reverse engineer. Now, what do I need to do? How far back do I need to get to my starting point to move forward? Right. Sound like that was kind of the story. It's like, well, okay, I want to do this. And they're looking at we'll call it a transcript. And they're like, well, first thing we're going to need, and
we'll call it a transcript. It was pretty short.
It had your name hopefully spelled correctly, and then whatever else was on there. And so, but no, then they're like, okay, well, we're definitely going to need you to take and pass this test so we can get you into, I guess you went to Lee.
Yeah, I went to Lee College there in Baytown.
Yeah.
And after that first class, I told my wife, I said, we were broke. I mean, we had no money. Quick story. She would open the checkbook. She was taking care of all of the bills. She would open the checkbook and she would take the bills and she'd shut the checkbook. There's nothing to write because there's no money in the bank.
Wow.
And then she went and bought groceries. And the next day there was a check that came in for some reason. I don't even remember what it was. Check came in the mail and it was the exact amount that she had spent on groceries.
Come on.
Right. And so the really beautiful part about the story of me going back to school was that after that first class, I told my wife, I said, I need to enroll and get some classes behind me. And it was really disjointed. And I wound up taking a bunch of hours, and I can't get more than 9 of them to go together. I had some 45 hours or something like that, but none of them went toward a degree plan, but that first semester, I went down and I enrolled for college, and couple, 3 classes, whatever it was. And we didn't have the money.
Mhm.
She went to my friends and she said, Steve's going to college and we can't afford it. And there were about 8 guys that reached in their pocket and said, what do you need?
Wow.
Come on. Wow.
Those are real friends.
That's beautiful.
That's amazing.
They paid my tuition and my books for that first semester. And,
Wow. That's beautiful, Steve.
That is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The intent wasn't to get emotional with
Everyone
that story.
does. That's an emotional story. It makes me emotional. That's
does.
beautiful.
So they all gave her cash. This is before Venmo and Zelle
Right,
and Cash
right.
App and all of that, right? They
Right.
gave her cash and they all signed a card. And I get home that afternoon or that evening, and there's a card sitting on my pillow on my bed.
Come on.
And you know what I did? I opened that and I shut it. I said, you need to send that money back where it came from. I'm nobody's charity case.
Mhm.
And we fought.
Of course. And rightfully so.
And we fought. And she won.
Mhm.
Good
And-
for her.
And so what I learned from that was my way to express my gratitude
Mhm.
was to go and make A's.
Yes, that's awesome.
And so over those hours of college that I got that don't work together, I have a 4.0 GPA, was on the National Junior Honor Society. you
That's
know.
amazing, Steve.
All of my friends came to my induction, and whenever they, called my name, everybody was being all polite and showing the etiquette that you're supposed to show with these things. Not my friends,
That's great. That's
And-
awesome.
And the lady handed me my plaque, was like, "Who are you?"
I'm a rock star.
I'm a rock
Yeah.
star.
And
Oh,
so it was a
that's-
beautiful thing,
Yes.
and it taught me that I know how to apply myself, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then I was able to pay for my next semesters and books, and didn't go into financial aid debt or any of that. Just figured out a way to do it.
Right.
And so anyway, that was that's that story. And
Three things I hear in that. The first one, to figure out the way to do it, that's the character builder for sure. And it was already there, but it just got reiterated again. The second thing is now we know, because earlier in our interview today, you talked about how, now I'm in the people business. These are people's homes. These are people's investments. It's their families. Well, that reiterates, because your people stepped up and filled in the gap, and to honor that. And then the third thing, I often say this to folks who are maybe in a certain situation and other folks are coming to their aid, and they probably have the same attitude I would have, you had, probably Rob would too, because we're pretty proud men. We want to do it. But my question to them is, who are you to deny them their desire to bless you?
Yeah.
Who are you to do that?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that authority?
Yeah.
This is presented by God himself. This is an opportunity for them as much as it is for the receiver. And I think you understood that at some point after your wife.
He at least understands it now.
Yes. Yeah.
I understand it now. And at that same time was when my wife and I really got back active in our church.
Wow.
And then sometime after that, we began tithing,
Mhm.
right? And we didn't have anything to tithe, we were just trusting, that was the thing. And once we began to tithe sacrificially and regularly, we have not had a financial thing come up that we were not able to overcome.
There it is.
Well, congratulations.
That is
And-
amazing.
Now, we went through bankruptcy in 2001.
Mm.
But whenever I had to change career, it was pretty ugly. But and we really did not have any money. We were able to save our house, but just barely. And so once we began tithing regularly, the way we were instructed,
Right.
and sacrificially, that's when things really began to kind of turn around for us.
Mhm.
And so Yeah, and that doesn't mean that I've got a bank account that I think everybody should be envious of, but it means that when things come up, we take care of it, right? I mean,
It just
God
means
takes
that you
care of it,
right,
Yes,
and that's
it
what I was going to say. You've aligned yourself with the will of God, so you've left yourself open to receive blessings.
Yeah.
Someone once used the phrase tithing, fasting, in those similar veins, is we create a void that only the Creator can fill.
Yeah,
And there's no other way to do that.
and I've said that for decades, Chuck. My only problem is I have a God deficiency right here, and it's a void that only God can fill.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely not a problem.
No.
And when I keep God as my focus, right? When I do that, and He's the third strand in that cord, then man, I make better decisions, right? When things don't go my way, and they don't go my way a lot, I don't get all spun out. It's like, okay, so my idea was for something good, but God's idea is for something great.
Right.
So, all right, let's see what God has in store for us next.
How about that?
And one other thing that you mentioned, who are you to stop somebody else from who gives you that authority?
Yeah.
And I was just talking to a guy yesterday. Somebody wanted to give him something as a token of gratitude, and he said no, he refused it. And one of the things that I do is when I get to give someone something, I get such a great feeling.
There it is.
And I'm robbing them of that opportunity to bless me, just like my friends that helped me go to college. And and it was back then, it was probably $800 or $1,000. I don't know if you could even drive to a college campus for $1,000 today.
Probably not.
Can't even go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
wow. Right.
So
and we all know that feeling about when we've been generous to folks, and sometimes it's silent generosity and sometimes it's a little more overt. Yeah, it does. It feels amazing to be able to and to see a need and to help fill a need, if not completely. And so, yeah, I want people to know that too, even if it's coming my way, and I don't think any of us are in a position to do much solicitation. Thank goodness we're able to do it the other way around. But, you got to know the experience to be able to share it, and because I know folks sure lifted me up. I mean, many, many times. And so it sure does make the reverse course a whole lot easier. So, yeah, good story.
So you went to college.
Yeah.
Beautiful story going through that.
Yeah.
You became Steve, the IT guy. Move. How did you how long did you work in IT?
15 years.
15 years. Okay. And you somehow through your history, you transitioned from, so IT is more or less a indoor air conditioned type job. So you started outdoors in the ironwork, then you went inside for the IT, and then through some stroke of insanity, you decided to get into business for yourself and get back outside.
Yeah.
Or actually, I guess you went into business for someone else to begin with outside, and now in business for yourself. So bring us from the IT to date.
So when I got laid off, they said, "Hey, this is your 60-day notice." And by the way,
that's good.
60-day notice,
Yeah,
and I got
big.
a great severance package, right?
Okay.
But they said, "But I've got to follow you to your desk, and you've got to pack up all of your nothings, and you're leaving today."
Whoa.
So you get 60 days of pay.
Yeah, 60 days of pay plus my severance, which was good and it was fair, but with the access that I had, they couldn't allow me to be a disgruntled employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I could have caused a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Move.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So it was just
What
it
a
was
big
protocol.
sacrifice on their part.
It was a
Right.
protocol. And so they followed me to my desk and I grabbed my little drag up box, and I'm like, okay, well, see y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, a friend of mine who had his share of layoffs over the previous several years, and he's got a master's in child life development.
Wow.
Okay.
So educated guy, worked as an executive director for a major hospital in the med center, worked as a headmaster for a charter school for a number of years, and worked for a doctor that did IVF treatment. Mm-hmm. And so he had held some executive positions, and he says, "Hey man, I've been doing this roofing thing for a couple of years as a salesman. You want to come ride around with me for a couple of days and see if you like it?" And so I went and rode around with him for a couple of days and watched him do his thing. Got to climb up on roofs, got to meet people, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I can do that." And he introduced me to the owner of the company, and we went and had lunch, and he offered me the job. And I said, I need to think about this for a couple of weeks. So I'm not gonna give you an answer for 2 weeks. And he was like, "Okay, opportunity of a lifetime, Steve. If it's still available, whatever."
He was selling.
He was.
Yes.
And if you ever question whether or not he's a salesman, just take a look at his wife. He's a salesman through and through. He definitely married up, much like I did. And so anyway, I went home, I prayed about it, talked with my wife about it. It was 100% commission with no training stipend, no nothing. So the good news is I had some severance time.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You had your own stipend.
Had some severance time, and we could reduce our expenses as much as possible. And I went out, and it took me 3 months to make my first sale.
Wow.
It took me 90 days.
Wow.
And my commission was a whopping $36.
Ooh.
It was a little gutter repair. Right. I mean, it was
best sell ever.
It was terrible. And I thought we were going to starve to death. I was looking at the bank account dwindling and dwindling. We wound up having to sell an old 401k to make it through. We just took the tax hit, but I wasn't making any money. So the taxes were offset at the end of the year,
right?
Whatever. So yeah, I stayed in, and then once I got that $36 commission, things started to
you broke the seal.
I broke the seal on it, right, and snapped it.
Yep.
And then things started to roll, and they weren't. I was not making the kind of money that I thought I should, and so I was going to become a home inspector, and I paid for it, and I was going to open my own business as a home inspector. And so I do this home inspector, I buy this boot camp and this training. I spend like $5,000 or $6,000.
Whoa.
And then Hurricane Harvey hits. I'd been doing the roofing thing for a year and some change, and I was going to just cut ties with it. And then Hurricane Harvey hit, and it wasn't a wind event, but I got so busy that I couldn't finish. I actually just gave them $5,000, $6,000 because I couldn't finish the course, and I didn't realize that there was a deadline, and that if I didn't ask for an extension, I couldn't get it. And so by the time things slowed down in January,
it was too late.
It was too late.
Right.
And so it was all just a loss, right? I just chalk it up to poor decision making, right? And yeah, so become a pretty good salesperson. And in 2017, living in Beach City, and I'd gotten the company to put me over in this region specifically. And I had been working from Friendswood to Orange, and invariably you're putting a roof on in Friendswood, and you've got an appointment in Orange the same day. That's a lot. I was driving 4,000 or 5,000 miles a month. You're probably
I'm very familiar.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, look, just give me an area, pick one, pick a side of the Fred Hartman Bridge that you want me to work.
Right. Yeah.
And they said, well, Beaumont's struggling. We think you can do well, and I came over here and I struggled.
Yeah.
Right. And I began to build the brand a little bit, and then I moved over here in 2019 to try and reduce some of that windshield time. Moved to Lumberton, and that made a big difference. And then in 2020, my area manager, he retired, and so I got promoted into his spot. And I knew that if I wanted to be a good manager, that I couldn't be spending all of my time selling and producing my own work.
Yeah.
So I started recruiting people to be salespeople, and I brought them in, and I trained them, and they began to be really good salespeople. And so I recruited up to had 6 men that were salespeople under me, and the way the commission structure worked, I got paid off of what they got paid, because I was still 100% commission, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't have to sell my own work now,
Right.
So
So
I could spend my time pouring into them and supporting them and building them up and helping them become better salespeople.
Right.
And so, the company did $40 million, does $40 million a year. And we were doing 6 of that in little old Southeast Texas.
Come on.
And so I decided that the company is in the process of being sold right now. And that talk had come up several times. And so over the past few years, and I just saw the writing on the wall. And I'm like, so this summer I decided that, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to be in charge of my destiny, because when you sell to a private equity firm, it's no longer go to the owner and discuss your grievances. Right. Because we had our grievances and we discussed them very colorfully. Right.
Sometimes it's that way.
Sometimes
and we would butt heads and so anyway, working I didn't want to work for another corporate owned entity. And so, and I didn't want to lose my deal. Right. And because I had a great deal. And so the way to get in front of that was to start my own business.
There we go.
So I've been self-employed. Even though I was working for that other company, I was an independent contractor.
Yes.
And so I've been self-employed since 2015, 2016. And I know the roofing business. I know exterior home improvement. I know how to sell. I know, more importantly, I know how to train people how to sell.
Yeah.
And so in this summer, we officially launched SETX Roofing Pros, and I immediately hired 3 salespeople before we even had systems in place, so that I could start training them some of my methodologies.
Right.
And so in September is when we really started selling. We sold a couple of jobs in July and August, but nothing to speak of.
Right.
Not enough to sustain a company. Right. And I took myself off of payroll, and had a little money set aside, and said, okay, here we go. And so our first full quarter, September to November, we did almost $1 million in revenue.
Nice.
And so putting our projections together for 2024, and this is what we call a very slow season. And I, in the industry, is very slow this year. But what I'm thinking is it's more of a reset, because we haven't had a major storm in a few years. Right. So now it's just these roofs are being replaced by attrition, or maybe the occasional storm. A little hailstorm, a little thunderstorm that comes through.
Maybe attrition.
Yeah. Maybe a tree goes through the roof.
There it is.
And so I think we're in a reset, but I'm doing my projections based off of that one quarter as a startup.
Right.
And so we're expecting to do our target is $4 million next year.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That is.
I think we'll actually, by 2028, we'll probably be doing somewhere between $6 and $10 million.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
That is. I love it.
That's a real American dream story there. That's I love it.
Yep.
Proud of you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that story. I'm going to ask you a crazy question. You talked a lot about leadership and leadership qualities. Define what it means to be a leader to you.
Oh, I think the biggest thing is have the confidence to make a decision.
Okay.
After, a well thought out decision, but sometimes it's just a hypothesis.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just theory. And, make a decision, take some action, and let's see, do we need to redirect?
Okay.
Yeah.
So confidence, decisiveness, the ability and confidence to take the risk.
Yeah.
So, that was the underpinnings of what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then the humility and wherewithal to redirect if an unsatisfactory result ensues.
You were talking about humility. I've been talking to a few friends of mine this week about humility. And I usually like to wait till there's a bigger crowd to talk about it.
That's funny.
We'll call them our audience. Perfect.
Little irony for you right there.
But we've been talking
Perfect.
about humility and the things that we do to gain humility, because it's often said that the moment you start talking about having humility, you've lost it.
Right.
Right. Well, I think that's a cop out.
Okay.
First of all, I think that's a cop out, because we have to be able to, if we're going to impart what we know about gaining any humility, we have to be able to talk about it in a mature way without tooting our own horn.
Right.
And so,
well, when you say talk about it, you don't mean talk about it. You mean if somebody talks about having it. Is that right?
yes.
But when you talk about humility,
Yes.
that's a different
And
thing.
people get it confused.
Yes.
I think people get it really confused.
Right.
And so I was talking with, and it was the friend that I was talking about that didn't want to receive the gift that somebody gave him for a pretty big deal. Right. And so learning how do we attain humility, and the first ingredient for that is to seek and do God's will.
Okay.
For me.
Yep.
That's the very first ingredient.
Agreed.
Seek and do God's will. And when I align what I'm doing with what I believe to be God's will, then the activities that I do are naturally going to kind of conform to that.
Yes.
And being honest and transparent and having character and being trustworthy and having integrity, all of those things. And those are the core values of our company.
Okay. Yeah.
They're posted everywhere.
I love it.
And if you're not on board with that, then you're not going to survive long.
Right.
In my company.
Right.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yep. Good leadership.
Your story is great. I think it's going to be very inspirational for the audience. I'm really proud that I'm grateful that we got to showcase you, your journey, and where you are now, and get to know you better.
Yeah.
We're kind of drawn to a close now. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
For sharing with us. There's a couple of questions that I ask every guest on our show. They're my favorite questions. But before I do, is there anything that we didn't ask you that we should have asked you?
Yes.
Good.
One thing.
Okay.
One thing, and I hold it really dear. My company started what's called Operation Overwatch. Okay?
I'm glad you brought that up.
And if you've been following the podcast, you probably saw Anthony Cordell a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Well, Operation Overwatch is a way for my company to give back to the community, and primarily to a disabled veteran. And so what we decided to do is give away a roof with a top tier warranty, right? Cadillac roof to a disabled veteran. And we took nominations up until Veterans Day. Then after Veterans Day, we took those nominations. I sent them to a committee that I put together of veterans and civilians. They vetted them out and gave me 3 finalists. And then the people of Southeast Texas voted on who they thought was most deserving. And Anthony Cordell is the recipient of Operation Overwatch free roof. And we're actually installing that roof on Tuesday, just before Christmas.
Come on.
That is beautiful.
That is.
So, yeah, it's really disabled veterans. Mentioned earlier that we've got a lot of veterans in my family, and gratefully none of them are disabled veterans. But I just have a heart for veterans and disabled veterans, and want to do. I talk about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
And I thought he was going to have a much smaller roof. Anthony, we talked about this the other day. I thought our recipient was going to have a much smaller roof. He's got a really big roof, but he bought the house as a foreclosure, right? So anyway, it's just one of those things.
Sometimes giving requires some sacrifice.
Sacrificial giving, I talked about.
Yes. So to give you a little backstory on us and a little bit of history here at the show, this show was actually started because of a veteran.
Okay.
The first interview that inspired the creation of the Pursuit of Purpose podcast was my grandfather. He's a World War II veteran.
Okay.
So thank you for your commitment to those who serve and are committed to our country.
Right.
And to bring it a little step further, this ribbon right here is for our son. One of our sons has joined the Navy, and we talk about him all the time on the show.
Yeah.
He doesn't even listen or watch the show. I mean, he doesn't know I talk about him all the time. But he's a nuclear guy. He's going to be on a submarine, so we're proud of him. So thank you for what you do for the veterans and the way you honor them. Those who serve our country. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's just one more reason to use Southeast Texas Roofing Pros or SETX. You can't say it wrong. Okay. SETX Roofing Pros.
Right.
For your next roofing job, whether it be gutters, you set that up.
Gutters, repairs, siding, windows, exterior home improvements.
Yeah.
Definitely reach out to them. They're on Facebook.
Commercial.
You got a website.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to leave the phone number out there?
Sure. You can call us at 409-240-2611. That's 409-240-2611 or setxroofingpros.com.
Boom.
And that phone number, can they text it?
Yes, they can text that number.
Okay.
They sure can.
So if you have a product or a service, the bar's been set by Southeast Texas Roofing Pros.
SETX
Roofing Pros.
Yes.
I mean, we all do. So we either have a product or a service, or we are associated with a product or service. Veterans couldn't be a better cause, because we couldn't do what we do if they don't do what they do. It just won't work. Right. Our country would not be as opportunistic as it is. So thank you. Excellent job.
Yes. So as we come to thank you for throwing that in there.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I really enjoyed, I got to be involved in that process for the award of that roof.
Nice.
Anthony reached out to me and said, "Hey man," and I had no idea this was going on. He said, "Hey man, I've been nominated for this. Would you vote for me?" He was so humble about it. And I was like, bro, not only will I vote for you, I will help you.
Yes.
So
you did.
I made it my personal cause.
He lobbied long and hard.
I seriously, I didn't care. I had no shame at all. I wanted to see Anthony get that roof. And I'm really proud that you did that. Thank you.
Yep.
As we draw to a close, Chuck, is there anything that you'd like to ask?
I just enjoyed our interview today, man. Well done. And your story has so many inspirational moments, just from your own personal development, coming because of a little bit of a pressing need. I have a child, and let's get this thing going. And whatever was in you through those years and years of whoopings came out, and it's turned into a beautiful story. And I love the reinvention. I mean, we're all that's kind of the beauty of, I think, again, our great country is we're not stuck in a state. And I feel for folks that don't live in the freedom that we have, because you have been able to reinvent yourself. And at the very end, now being your own owner, I mean, boy, you'll be able to touch a lot of lives, and it's coming from a good heart. So thank you, Steve, for sharing all that with us today.
All right.
And these guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
And a beautiful thing about that, that story of reinvention is one that we love to point out to our audience, because it's never too late.
Right.
And you're another example of that. And another one of our neighbors in the neighborhood is David Bickley. Yeah. He was one of our early guests on the show, and he started a new, completely different entrepreneurial pursuit 20 years after you in life ish. So people think, well, I'm already this late in the game. There's no sense in it.
Right.
No,
That's
bullcrap, man.
right.
Start right now where you are and do all you can do to make the change needed.
That's it.
And go forward. You don't know what opportunity you may be providing for someone else, what legacy you may be creating for somebody else.
Right.
So don't shortchange yourself,
For sure.
and then don't eliminate the opportunity that you were destined to create for others.
That's right. One of those mentees that you're bringing on, I'm going to call them mentee, these sales guys or whatever, or the guys that are actually doing the work. They may be the one to go one day be you. They may come up to you and go, hey, if you're ready to go, I'm ready to buy.
Yeah.
It could happen.
It could.
And it changed their lives and changed their family for generations. So look at that.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, the final two questions that I get to ask, they're my two favorites. So if you could go back in time, or no, not that one. We're going to do that one second.
Okay.
If somebody out there is watching this show or listening to this show, and they are, let's say, I don't know, 20 years old, relatively young, maybe they're in college, but they're, kind of just starting out. And they're inspired by your story. Maybe they're not in college. Maybe they dropped out of high school. What advice might you give them?
Oh, the first advice I would give is get a relationship with God.
Profound.
Very.
First things first. Get a relationship with God, and start to really align your will with what God's will is, and try to move in that direction. Take the activities to move in that direction, and maybe you don't have a long-term goal yet. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how to get through the end of the month, the end of the quarter,
right.
The end of the year.
Just trying to survive.
Let's put some things together in your mind. What do I need to do to, maybe you got a bunch of crap laying around your house and you just need to sell some stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you looking in my backyard, man?
Well,
put a price on your purge. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
You can raise money a lot of different ways, right?
Yes.
You can do a little side job. You can, whatever. You can raise some money to really get where you need to go. But but first thing is get a relationship with God, and then secondly would be begin tithing.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Begin tithing, and don't just be a church attender. Be active, right?
Yes.
And serve.
Right. It's about to give, not to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful.
That is.
You're our first guest to say that in that specific way.
Yes.
The tithing thing is very unique to your testimony. So thank you. Thank you for that. That's really wonderful. All very profound and worthy advice.
Absolutely.
Very much so. So the second question, I'm going to throw a third one in there.
Okay.
Because I didn't ask it, but I have to because it's tradition. Are you a success?
I don't know. It's not
Are
for
you
me to judge.
successful?
It's not for me to judge.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to give you a judgment. You are.
Okay.
You are. And no matter if you disagree or feel differently, you are. And I guarantee you that everyone in our audience will agree with that. Been doing this show now for a couple of years, and we've interviewed a couple hundred people, and you are no less successful than any of them.
Well, thank you.
So what I will challenge you with this before I go to the last question, own that.
Okay.
That's not arrogance.
No.
That's not prideful, but it's okay to be proud of your success.
I'll be happy you be proud.
You can be grateful
I can be
There
grateful.
you go.
of your success
Yeah.
Well,
or for your success.
and as we reiterate here, and I'll share with you, it's not about the conclusion. It's about the formula you built to get there.
The
It's
process.
the process,
Yes.
and you built a beautiful process, and it's that is your prosper.
Yeah.
Whatever version of prosper it is, whether it's financial or other, just happiness and those sorts of things, that's your prosper. So with that, own it. You are a success.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So the final question, now that we made you uncomfortable with your success, the final question, if you could go back in time and speak to your younger self, You're a difficult one to pick the age. I'm going to say 17 anyway.
Okay.
I'm just going to, I like that age. And at that time in your life, you were an ironworker already.
Mhm.
But if you could go back and give some advice to the 17, maybe 16-year-old Steve, what would you tell him? And just all you can do is whisper in your own ear, and you believe that it's going to sink in, this advice.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I've often thought about that. And my answer is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Go and make your mistakes.
That's profound. I like it.
That's
Because if any one decision, I love my life today, right? I love everything about my life today.
that's great.
I love that I get to sit here with you guys. I love that I have a beautiful family. I've got a business that seems to be thriving. I've got guys that I don't like to say work for me, that I work with.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're helping me build a business. I got people that I get to help in their homes,
Mhm.
right? So if any one decision had been just a nanosecond different, my life wouldn't be what it is today.
Okay.
I like that.
I do too.
I like that. It
I made a
shows.
ton of mistakes, right? A ton of very bad decisions.
Chuck's never made one.
Yeah.
We've been working on that and trying to figure out when he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so
You
far,
hadn't
He
dropped yet.
keeps throwing
Pure-
the stumbling blocks,
yeah.
but I'm an
Pure
athlete, man.
perfection.
Right over him,
that's
brother.
amazing.
I just-
Well, Steve, thank you so much for letting this show, The Pursuit
Yes.
of Purpose, showcase your journey, your story,
Mhm.
your pursuit of your purpose. It really is beautiful and inspiring. Like I gained so much from this today. It's been an honor.
It certainly has. Thank you.
It's been an honor to be here.
Thank you.
And thank you for the platform.
Absolutely. Is there anything you'd like to leave the audience with?
Man, just yeah, I don't know, man. Actually there is. I just want to pull my phone up for just a second. Give me just a second.
You're not the first guest to pull his phone out.
Right.
So I read a verse of the day every day, and this one really you got to have the verse before, but so in Ephesians 4 verse 1 and 2 says, "Therefore I, a prisoner of the Lord, implore you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, showing tolerance for one another in love."
Amen.
That's beautiful.
That is.
That is truly
It
beautiful.
just really struck me this morning.
Absolutely. I love it.
And you've been able to share with our audience all the things in your life that definitely iterate and reiterate that for sure. So that is a thank you. Thank you, Paul. And thank you for sharing.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And thank you for being a part of our audience. Thank you for allowing us to become a part of the pursuit of your purpose. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And today we've had with us
Steve Pike.
the Steve Pike. And we hope to see you again soon on the next episode of the Pursuit of Purpose podcast. You have a great day. We'll talk soon.